Hello everyone, I'm Paradox, and today I'm going over the basics of VR level design. I'll be demonstrating this using the Source 2 engine, but this is technically applicable for any other engine you are creating a VR experience in. There are three technical things you should know when it comes to VR level design: scale, movement, and interactivity. Scale. Scale is important since it gives the player a true perspective of their environment. When creating a level for a VR game, the sense of scale is much more important than it is in a flat screen game. If your scale is incorrect, the player can lose their immersion. Additionally, the player may have a hard time completing the level if the scale is incorrect. In order to create a proper scale, there are a few techniques that you can use. You can use a player reference, which is placing down models that closely represent the player's scale. By doing so, you can get a general feel of what the player would look like in the environment and design it around that. You can also use real-life references such as photos or building schematics to make something accurately scaled. A good rule of thumb that my friend Higgy had taught me was if the level becomes uncomfortable playing flat screen, it is likely perfect to play in VR. This doesn't mean to make every single environment cramped, but it does mean to make the levels tight enough if the environment supports it. For example, a sewer system would be cramped and tight, whereas an outdoor junkyard would be a bit more spacious. Movement. When designing a level for VR, you have to accommodate the speed at which the player can move at. If the player is very fast, you likely want to make the level a little bit larger, whereas if the player moves a little slower, you should try to make the levels that take this into consideration. For starters, you can make the levels smaller. When you make the levels smaller, that means maybe use some verticality, reuse spaces, or also design the gameplay around this movement speed. Interactivity. By including many points of interactivity, you can make the player spend more time in an area. A great example is the playground in Half-Life Alyx. There are a few objects that you can mess around with before continuing on the set path. Little things like this can make the player sink more time into areas. Interactivity is one of your best friends when it comes to VR level design, even if it's as basic as making some file cabinets that open and close. If VR players are given the opportunity to interact with something, chances are they will. Therefore, take advantage of that. When you put all these techniques together, you create an authentic and engaging world for the player. Thank you for watching the video. If this video helped you out, consider dropping a like and sub. It's free and only takes less than a second.